Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of the Aggie Athletics Coaches Show, brought to you by Charles White State Farm. My name is Shawn Joy, and we're excited to have Coach Rose from Rodeo today. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Shawn. How are you?
I'm doing great. We love having you in here. We know you're super busy, but we appreciate you taking the time and talking with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's pretty cool to do this.
So let's jump right into our last competition at Colby, right, last week.
Yep.
Kind of talk about what you saw from both teams. I believe we both finished third place.
Yep.
But just talk about what you saw and how that first competition go.
We had a pretty good weekend at Colby. Really, for the first time in many years, we're young. We've taken pretty good hits at graduation for the last 3 or 4 years. So it's kind of nice to have a younger group. At the same time, you lose a little bit of maturity there, but I saw a lot of good things. There's still quite a bit of room for improvement, so I'm happy to not think that third is the best we're going to be able to do. We have some really tough freshmen, but they're still just getting their feet wet, and it's going to take them a minute, but I foresee big things from them in the future. And our upperclassmen held their own, and they still have room where they can grow. So I think it's going to be a good year.
Good deal. So we started out at Colby last week, and then we go to Durant next week. What are some things that you want to see specifically that we do better, from our first competition to next week?
Being at Bronc Rider U, I'd like to see a couple more guys in the short round of the saddle bronc riding, but they've been working at it really hard. So I foresee that their time is coming. And other than that, just finishing what we started. We had a pretty good long round at Colby. Could have had a really good weekend if we would have finished like we started. So just, carrying it all the way through, I think will make a bigger impact.
Gotcha. You talked a little bit about it a second ago, but kind of break down your roster, a mix of freshmen, older, transfers. Kind of what does our roster look like? Is it, what's the makeup of it?
Like I said, we're young for us, especially. I think we have 3 senior girls is all, and 2 or 3 senior boys. So a big difference over the last 4 or 5 years. We've graduated 19 or 20 people every year, so it's a little different. We've picked up a couple really good transfers on the girls' side, so I'm excited to see what they can do. And the boys, there's some good young talent, but they're young, and it's just going to take them a little bit of growing up, and they'll be okay. But we got Riley Stark. He's just a sophomore, but he's really kind of turned into our men's team leader. He's really dove in. He's really trying to pull everybody together, and he's getting them to work hard, and so that's been fun. And you got Porter Hall. He's a junior. Zane Crickmeyer, he's a senior. And then we got some good freshmen, Jack Phillips, Rustin Gilmore, a sophomore, Braden Coons, who actually played football at a different school last year. So really in rodeo eyes, he's just a freshman. But
where did he play football at?
He played football in Missouri somewhere.
Gotcha.
So, and he decided that football wasn't for him anymore.
Cool.
So it's cool to have a real athlete. The kid's real talented. So I look for him to do big things. And then Luke Tittman, he's just a freshman, but he's a go-getter. He enters the bareback ride and the calf rope and the team rope and the bulldog. And we're trying to get him on some broncs. So I foresee big things from him. I mean, he's not very big, but I foresee him to do big things.
Nice. That's good.
And the girls, we got the Slavin cousins. So they kind of lead the pack for us there. They do everything, and they'll lead us on pretty good. I got a good transfer out of NEO in Laney Masters. She won the long round of the breakaway at Colby, and some good freshmen. But again, it's a different world out here in college, so it'll take them a little time to adjust.
That's right. Speaking of college and kind of transfers, football and basketball and other sports, transferring has become a big part of the landscape. Is it the same way in rodeo? Is there a lot of transferring, or how does that look?
No, thank God we don't have the transfer portal. So you can transfer in rodeo, but there's a transfer penalty if you don't. So if you go to a junior college and you have 48 hours, you can transfer on to a university, no problems. You don't lose any time. If you transfer from university to university or transfer from a junior college after your first year, you have to sit out 3 rodeos the next season. So I've got one girl that's having to sit out for 3, but it's nice. I guess that they can still transfer when they're in situations they don't like, but I love the fact that they can't just pick up and leave all the time.
I wish that I wish that athletics, would go back to that where there's a little bit more of a penalty or a price of transfer.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad that it doesn't take the whole year away from them, but that they are penalized if they leave. So,
Yeah.
or if they want to come, same deal. I mean, they have to sit out, but it's not detrimental. I guess you still can have a successful season.
What's you have your fall season, you have your spring season. Are there differences in what those competitions or what those look like, or is it just the same things in different times of the year, or is your fall schedule and your spring schedule, is there a big difference there?
There's not a big difference. The spring it always seems to be a lot tougher, just because academically and everything, it seems like there's way more stuff going on in the spring. And we go to 4 in the fall and 6 in the spring, but as far as the competitions and things go, it's the same thing, just different time of the year, different weather, different setups, but it's basically the same. Our schedule, practice wise and all that, really is the same, but it's basically year round.
Gotcha. Besides our own event, the college rodeo, what are some of the events that you enjoy when you guys travel and go compete at?
You gotta love Stillwater just because you get to eat, Eskimo Joe's, and you have a little more food options. K-State's fun. Those are both D1 universities, so they get a big crowd, and it's a little different atmosphere than a lot of places. I pretty much enjoy all of them. They're all something different, but it's kind of fun, and I've been doing this long enough that if we don't go somewhere at a certain time, I'm kind of lost. So
yeah. What crowd size at OSU and K-State? What does that what does that look like crowd wise for you guys?
I would say they both probably average 2,500 to 3,500 people a night. Nice. So it's pretty big. K-State built a new facility, so I'm not really sure what it looks like, but their old one was a miniature coliseum, and the people were just like on top of you.
Yeah.
So it felt like you were really doing something. It was loud, and they have a great student section, and you hear the K-State fight song 900 times, but other than that, it's good.
I'm from that area. It's a pretty good song, pretty good school, but a good deal. Kind of transitioning into the day-to-day stuff that you guys do. What's a typical practice look like for an OPSU rodeo contestant?
It depends on the day, and our sport's a lot different than any other. We can't just come in here and say, for 2 hours we're going to play basketball or football or whatever, because we're one sport, but we're broke out into 9 different events. So we try to do as much in a day as we can get done, with as many different events as we can cover. But our practices, they range from 2 hours to 5 or 6 hours. It just depends on the day, and it's really hard to set a structure because you're dealing with animals and horses and college kids and cattle. So you just really never know what the day's fully going to bring. But we try to just do as much as we can every day.
So obviously, been the assistant coach here for quite a while, and now this is your first year overseeing the whole program, running everything. What's that change or transition been like, being the assistant coach, and now it's the buck stops there? What's that been like?
It's been interesting. Thankfully, as an assistant coach, I got to be very involved in the day to day, so it wasn't like blindsiding me by what all I had to take care of now. And thankfully, I didn't really lose Robert. He just doesn't go to the rodeos anymore, so that's been great. It's been really nice to have someone else you can count on, and I hired a really good assistant in Rye Clark. That's been going well, but it is different. It's a little bit more pressure, and it's a little more nerve wracking when that the buck stops with me. I can't turn around and look for the next person to say, what do we do now? But I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's going to be really good.
Is there anything, and maybe not get into too many details, but is there anything you can think of that you kind of want to do differently to make it your own program? Because every head coach is different.
Yep.
Every sport's different. Every head coach is different. What's a Coach Rose led program going to look like that's maybe a little bit different than we've seen in the past?
I think for me the biggest thing is just a little bit more of a team atmosphere. Not that we haven't always been a team, but it's always been work, and I want to bring a little bit of fun back to the because even me, we get caught up in that we're here to win and go to school, and we sometimes forget that they're just 18 to 22-year-old kids, and every now and again they want to do something that's just a little different. So that's my biggest thing. I've made a few small changes, but if you look at our history, it'd be kind of crazy to come in here and change the whole thing. We've had a lot of success, so I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just kind of want to take it into this generation, and the group of kids nowadays are a little different than even when I was in college. So you have to change a few things, but for the most part, if it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
That's right. How special is it for you to be the head coach here? You know, obviously your background and your past and your achievements as an assistant coach, but what does it mean to you that you're now the head coach here at OPSU?
Oh, it means a lot. I really never thought that I would see the day that I was the head coach. I honestly thoroughly enjoyed being the assistant coach because I got to be involved, but it wasn't all my problem. But it means a lot that this program's been led by some really great people, and they've done a lot, and I just really hope I can live up to what they expect.
Speaking of that history, this weekend our Hall of Fame ceremony is, and we've got 3 great inductees coming in, and I'm excited because this is the first time we're going to have a rodeo, inductee go in, and obviously Craig Latham probably couldn't have picked a better first one. Can you talk about what he meant to you in this program, because he's going to go in this weekend, and we're excited for that.
Yeah, I can, because they've asked me to present, so I've spent a lot of time here lately thinking about how I could say this and A, not cry, and B, do him justice, because there probably isn't a person, in my opinion, anywhere that deserves this more than he does, but definitely to be the first rodeo guy in our Athletics Hall of Fame. Craig did a lot, not just, he had a very successful professional career, college career, but I think what I appreciate the most is that he came back here, he stayed here, he gave his time, his knowledge, and his heart to everybody that he coached. He had an incredible way of pushing you when you needed it, but picking you up and believing in you when you needed it. And I can't say that I ever remember him raising his voice one time, but when you did something you weren't supposed to do, you knew it, and it was almost more intimidating that he wasn't yelling at you. But he had a great way of making great people, and that's the reason I came here. When I came to visit and I sat down with him, he said, we care about winning, but it's more important to us that we make good people. And that's something that I've tried to stick to, heck, since I was in college here, but definitely through my coaching career. And so it's really awesome that he finally gets his name on the wall.
Well, we're excited about that. We're excited that you get to be a part of it. We're excited for his family and the whole rodeo community, because that, I moved down here about 5 years ago, and I heard that name pretty quickly, and it's obviously it's stuck with me, and how important he was to people out here in the program. So we're excited for that. So after Durant, we have two more competitions coming up. What's the goal when you guys go to a competition? Obviously, I'm assuming it's probably to win, but what's your expectation of your goals for the last couple events of the fall?
Just to finish what we start, and my biggest expectation is that they try hard. Rodeo, there's a lot of things that have to go your way for you to win. So sometimes the outcome doesn't always represent the work you put into it. So my biggest thing is just that, when they back in there and nod their head, that that they're trying and that they're prepared. Through the end of it, it gets kind of crazy. You roll into Halloween, and then it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. Basically just trying to keep them focused and on task for what we're doing. We only get 10 chances. So, it's not a lot compared to what a lot of other sports get throughout the year. So just trying to make sure that they're ready to take care of business. And then that they're carrying and representing this university well. To me, that's more important than anything, is that, whether things go our way or not our way, or don't go our way, that, we're acting like good role models and being a team that other people want to be like.
Well, Coach, you're doing a great job. Everybody sees it. Best of luck to you guys in Durant next week. We're excited for Hall of Fame this weekend, and you're a part of that, and we can't wait for that. But best of luck the rest of the fall, and it's been fun watching you so far.
Thank you, and thanks for having me, and we'll hopefully get along pretty good.
Well, if you guys can this weekend, come on out Saturday to our Hall of Fame ceremony at 11 a.m., and then our football kickoff is at 6 p.m. This is the latest edition of the Charles White State Farm Aggie Athletics Coaches Show. We'll see you next time.